Today, we're diving right into something that has literally captivated human imagination for centuries. We're talking about stories of mysterious ancient doors. Doors hidden deep beneath forgotten ruins and buried under centuries of dust. We are looking at structures that ancient civilizations actually feared more than death itself. These aren't just your standard architectural anomalies. They are profound, tangible mysteries carved right into stone.
So think about this for a second. It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie, right? But what if one seemingly ordinary door really could change everything we think we know about history? We usually picture the timeline of human civilization as this perfectly mapped out straight line. But honestly, the deeper we dig into these ruins, the more we realize just how fragile our current understanding actually is. A single undiscovered threshold, sealed away in the dark, literally holds the potential to rewrite the history books.
Now, here's where the human element gets absolutely fascinating. Ancient civilizations didn't just build these doors, they actively, deeply feared them, which naturally brings up a pretty chilling question. What actually happened to the people who tried to open them? The source material we're looking at today highlights these intense legends of dire consequences for anyone who dared to break those ancient seals. It wasn't just seen as trespassing, it was treated like a cosmic violation. No way were you supposed to cross that line.
For decades, whenever archaeologists stumbled on something they couldn't quite figure out, the default answer was almost always, oh, it's for ritual or religious purposes. But modern investigative thinking is starting to shift. Could these mysterious doors have served a purpose far beyond religion? For a long time, a lot of these entrances were just dismissed as myths or symbolic gateways. But what if they weren't? What if they actually had a highly specific, functional purpose that we just haven't grasped yet? Section 1. Ancient Mysteries. Strange Entrances.
To really wrap our heads around this, we've got to look at the sheer scale of the whole shebang. All throughout history, civilizations have left behind these incredibly strange entrances. We're talking about massive thresholds, painstakingly carved directly into the solid bedrock of mountains. We see them heavily sealed beneath ancient temples and hidden way deep inside the labyrinth-like corridors of pyramids. The amount of physical labor, the engineering, the architectural precision required to make these, it's staggering. People simply don't expend that kind of energy without a really, really compelling reason. And this creates this wild psychological conflict around these sites. On one hand, you have ancient beliefs stating that these pathways led directly to the gods, like a literal divine threshold bridging our mortal world with the heavens. But directly contradicting that, often within the exact same cultures, was the absolute insistence that these doors should never, ever be opened. It's this crazy duality of deep reverence mixed with absolute terror. They built these monumental, beautiful paths to the divine, but left extremely strict warnings to never actually cross them.
Section 2. Global Discoveries. Unearthing Anomalies. Archaeologists are constantly unearthing these underground chambers across some incredibly diverse regions. We're talking from the sands of Egypt over to ancient Turkey, all the way down to South America. And what connects them all? Well, they often feature these strange symbols that look completely unlike any known language. And maybe the most important part, these aren't just caves that happen to collapse over time. These are intentionally, deliberately sealed passages. The true purpose behind this global coordinated effort to seal things away, it still remains a complete unknown today. And that brings us to a massive, vital question about the intention behind those heavy stone seals. Think about it. If you're going to expend massive resources to permanently block a passage, you're doing it for one of two reasons. Were these unyielding doors meant to keep something trapped inside? Or were they constructed to keep humanity out? It fundamentally flips how we view our ancestors. Were they acting as wardens, guarding a prisoner? Or were they seeking protection from something else entirely?
Section 3. The Theories. Search for answers.
When we try to make sense of these doors, we really run into two very different schools of thought. Mainstream historians generally argue that these were purely ceremonial structures, or maybe elaborate defense systems designed to protect royal tombs. On the flip side, alternative researchers propose something a lot stranger. They hypothesized that these doors might guard forgotten knowledge, or maybe even ancient technology. Some even suggest they could be the actual physical manifestations of the mythological gateways described by cultures that were separated by thousands of miles. So you have both sides looking at the exact same physical evidence, but arriving at vastly different conclusions about our past. Section 4. What Evidence Says. The Unsolved Reality.
Now, as we explore all this, we really have to hold ourselves to a strict standard.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. When we're dealing with alternative hypotheses about things like ancient technology or mythological gateways, it's absolutely crucial to ground the mystery firmly back in scientific reality. The burden of proof here is incredibly high. While the physical doors themselves are a proven, tangible reality, the extraordinary claims regarding what actually lies behind them, well, they still lack that definitive, extraordinary proof. But even if we set those wilder, extraordinary claims aside for a minute, there's one undeniable fact we just can't ignore. Human history still contains enormous gaps. We definitely do not have it all figured out. We've got fragments, we've got pieces of this massive puzzle, but vast stretches of the human story remain completely blank. These sealed doors, they represent literal, physical manifestations of the knowledge we are currently missing. Because let's be real, history is highly dynamic. It is not static. Every single time a new discovery is made, whether a new chamber is unsealed or a new text is translated, it forces scientists to completely rewrite parts of our collective understanding of the past. History is constantly being drafted and redrafted. The mystery of these ancient forbidden doors is far from solved, and literally any day now, a new excavation could completely alter the paradigm. So when you boil it all down, maybe the biggest mystery isn't even what's hiding behind the stone, but why humanity felt compelled to build them in the first place. Why is it that across different continents and across totally different millennia, human beings possess this universal, burning urge to dig deep into the earth and seal things away? What is it about human nature that drives us to create the forbidden? And that leaves us with a pretty massive call to action for modern archaeology. If we keep digging, if we continue searching the globe, probing these forgotten ruins and buried temples, what else might we discover? Every single unturned stone holds the potential to answer our oldest questions, or, maybe to ask entirely new ones that we haven't even conceived of yet. Okay, let's wrap up this explainer with one final, kind of chilling thought. Sometimes the greatest mysteries aren't found in dusty ancient texts or mythological stories. They're hidden right beneath our feet. The past isn't just something behind us. It's physically layered underneath the ground we walk on every single day. Thanks so much for joining this explainer. Keep your curiosity sharp, because history's greatest secrets are for sure still out there waiting in the dark, just waiting for the right person to open the door.